Dudes, coffee. That's what we forgot. We always forget, actually, a couple things, I think. But that was the main one. My coffee. Everything else should be ready to go. Today we're going to be doing all the sides and the back on this truck. We're going to be doing 20 on the front doors, and then we're going to be doing 20 over the factory, 20 on the back, which will effectively make it limo. For this back window, I'm definitely going to be using this plotter. I'm really interested to see, the truck back windows are one of those things where a plotter should really help save some time versus hand cutting them. There's no way around it. There's either tonneau covers, caps, or whatever else in the way on a lot of them, especially right off the lot. It's something they try and add to so many vehicles now. So it makes it extra difficult for hand cutting because you either roll it all up and it still kind of gets in the way of the back window, or they're like a trifold and then they keep you away from the back window on the outside. Or you go on the inside and then you're sitting there kind of like tediously trying to trim it out. It's not exactly the most efficient thing to do. So if you can have a machine cut it all out for you, that it'll definitely have an advantage there. So we're going to be using it for that, and I'm probably hand cutting the rest of it. So I don't know. I don't have the plotter set up for my carbon, but I'm assuming it's going to be very similar to my Pro Classic too. So what is up? Let's go. What am I missing? Hey, it's my order you refunded. Oh, from Australia. I saw the email this morning. I'm pretty sure I can send it out again. The only thing I'm unsure of is so when I refunded the order, it refunds shipping, but I still had to pay for the shipping. So I have to try and call the post office and see what happened ahead of time. So if I kind of just like send it out again, it's a bit of a toss-up. I'm not sure if it's going to come back or not, but yeah. It's not exactly a super fun thing to pay for. No plotter, please. Hey, you know what? What's really funny is like everybody asks, or not everybody, but a lot of people are asking about plotters. Why don't you plotter? Why don't you plotter? Well, we finally get one, and then it's like, don't use it. Do you make global shipments? I do have international shipping as an option, and it's such a toss-up with international. I'm really sorry that it is that way, but I send things out USPS, which generally has been better, unless you're going all out with something like DHL, which in my opinion is probably the best international service, but they're going to be like 5 times as much as USPS is. So USPS generally has been fine, but there's international shipments every once in a while that are just like, yee. So that's where it's kind of like it's a toss-up for me. All right, we gotta get started. I'm really sorry. It's okay. It's all right. It's not your fault. It's just one of those things where it's like I wish I had better answers. I really do, because I feel super bad that somebody international that watches the channel want to order something and then it's just generally difficult. But things are extra difficult now because of just global logistics. Like they're far worse than they've ever been. So it's one of those things where I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. And there's honestly there's only maybe a handful of international orders, so it's not something where I really know how to fix. Because there's just I'm not a big distributor. I'm small fish. All right. I've sworn off windshields on those Rams. Oh, you just got to learn how to cover the BCM. You'll be fine. Sounds like you haven't been, though. All right. Let's get started. GoPro. Wow. that's impressive. It just sat on the table. Ugh. Little tech issues. Can I get that fly? Is that a thing? Can I get him with a card? Stupid. Ooh, we did. We got him. Down. We don't take too kindly to flies anymore. There's been too many of them in my shop. It's not a good thing. Okay, so this place is still a small mess from the other day. So there's going to be a little bit of cleanup here. But everything should go pretty straightforward on this truck as long as this machine works on me. Let's turn that sucker on. Just placed my first order through your site about 10 minutes ago. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So what can I replace? Glass Aid? There's not really any good replacements. If there were, then it wouldn't really be a thing because it was kind of born out of there not being any good options for hand cutting on like windshields and stuff like that. There's like some more tedious things that you can do. I think the biggest one is Sharpie, but you need a glass board for that. So you'd effectively take a Sharpie. Let's roll these down. You can turn this off for a little bit. So you can roll all the windows, or getting distracted. So you can put your film on the glass, you can shrink it, and then you mark it with a Sharpie, and then take it to a different surface and cut it out. That's one. The other is like a plastic, shirt button or something small, hard, like a guitar pick. And then you put that on the windshield or wherever you're cutting. You slide it underneath the film, dig your blade into it, and drag it around. It's not my favorite way of doing it, but it is an old school trick that does definitely work. But I think rapgear.nl actually stocks, I forget about that. I think Rapgear stocks Glass Aid too, but like I have to supply a distributor and they ship it overseas to supply Rapgear. So there's some extra things involved, so they might run out of stock quicker, but it might actually be in stock there right now for international. Just tough. Not as good as Lowe's. Yes, tuck tape. It's a good option. Works really well. I've been pretty happy with it. Finally remembered to order more of it a little while ago. Oh, that reminds me. Now I'm going to run out of carpet shield pretty soon. Kind of want to plot these back doors too. That'd be fun. Everybody will have a field day. I recently bought from Rapgear. I hear about them a little bit, but I know They were asking about like, they asked me a little while ago about like rolls and stuff like that. It's just tough. Those are never right with my software. What software? That's no good. It's a RAM. RAM's like a staple. I get so many of these things. Software can't get a RAM right. That's a problem. It gets annoying. Like, I don't like making excuses for software. It's always bugged me. They should just. It's critical. It's like if you're gonna use it, it's pretty critical to your business, so it needs to work. Just for the back doors. That's not horrible. I ran into that with a Mazda. This is off stream. I had a Mazda on Saturday. I checked it out. Wanted to see how it lined up. Front doors were like really good, and I was very, very impressed with the front doors. Back glass. Back glass was fine, or it was great. Quarter windows, great. Back roll-down doors on like a Mazda 3 hatchback were not so great. It was like the top edge lined up and then it chops off, and then there was too much of a gap there. I didn't like the back doors on that one. Sticky. Have you been using film cut? And the quarters have been all done on. Roll-up top edges have been good, but all sides tend to be narrow. They don't really completely cover the sides. That's no good. See, I think if they had a way to just make the patterns a little bit bigger, because like on the Mazda that I did, it actually was perfectly fine on the front. They were plenty wide enough. But I know some tend to go a little bit slim. Oh, that's what that is. But this was like a Tint 2020 habit was like oversizing all the patterns. It was like with almost every vehicle, it was like, just make it a couple clicks bigger. And I have a feeling that this software is going to be similar to having to do that. I don't think the patterns are quite as, I don't think they're bad. And like I said, I hate making excuses for software, but I just have a feeling that some of these, like on the doors, it's like whenever you print them out, you're always going to want to make them a little bit bigger. I have no tank. I have no tank. I forgot. I gotta plug it in. I filled it up. I have it sitting over here. Ugh, at least I remembered I had to fill it. Is the tape to make the... Oh, so the tape is for cleanliness. Just imagine lots of dirt on those seals, even though they're pretty newer rubber gaskets. Or rubber side seals, so you could wipe them off. But it's just tape it all. Perfectly clean. Brand new. If possible, can you get a close-up when you fold the tint? Let's see if we can do this. Hey Siri, Remind me in 15 minutes to talk about folding the tint when I'm tucking it in.
Done.
Look at that. We'll see if we get a reminder for it. I'm assuming it'll take me about 15 minutes to get there. I'll probably forget anyways. Glad I made it to the live. Glad to have you. So all those simple features that are like in everybody's software are nowhere to be found in PRECUT yet. They are adding them, but it's like PRECUT was in a time capsule somehow. It was like they were just completely detached from reality. And then all of a sudden they just like woke up one day and then here they are. And they have software with patterns, but just a lot of basic features that you would expect every software company to have, they don't have yet, but they're adding them. And it's like, okay. Well, as long as they do that, I'll probably have a software I can actually recommend people. Plotter software. I just tinted, a bunch of vehicles there. 86 Cherokee, 92 Wrangler, but there's a couple of newer vehicles in there. My first jobs ever, and I used carbon ceramic. Very nice. Was it carbon or was it ceramic? The only issues that I had was fingers not wanting to shrink properly. They do. You just gotta know how to make them. You can try PRECUT. PRECUT, though, like, this kind of goes back to shipping before. International is just not well covered because the majority of the industry is in the U.S. Like, there's far more here than there is international. So all the companies, all the tool makers, or like a lot of the companies, a lot of the tool makers, they're all based in the U.S. So everything that you're going to see is always U.S. first. And then support goes outside of that based on demand. But it's a tough one. Did all the vehicles from From about 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. Whoa. Oh, per vehicle. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Nice. Late nights. Sounds like a side hustle, right? I need help with tinting tight bottom seals. Shank. Shank's really helpful. That's what I use to help with tucking and bottom seals. They're not gonna be the easiest no matter what you do, other than like just removing them. But using something like that and keeping the bottom a little bit slimmer. But yeah. It's so with tighter bottom seals, if you cut them a little slimmer, it's so tight the shank doesn't want to budge. I've never encountered a door window like that. What vehicle are you tinting? It's probably just blunting up against it. So, like, this is a good vehicle for an example. So, like, see that? See that right there? The shank doesn't want to go in there, right? Well, these ones, they're kind of like, it's kind of like a wedge shape. I mean, a lot of them are, but some of them are like a little wedge, and then they just like flat at the very top. So they're just trickier to get a shank into. But if you kind of go at some of these from like the side, then you can pull them in. I've never had a seal. It's something you're not doing quite right. The shank will free up any seal, if there is a seal. 2014 Volkswagen Passat. Oh God. Forget everything I just said. Okay, so on the Passats, you do have enough room for a shank, but you have plastic paneling that basically like almost presses against the window too. If that is like one of the first vehicles that you're tinting, I feel really sorry. I don't know how you guys like can do this. Okay, so Passat drives most people generally a little crazy, especially when you get into those like, I don't know, anywhere from like 2005 to like 2015. They just all are annoying to do. So on one like that, you have some difficulties, especially on those front doors. The only cutting machine I used was a PRECUT. Oh, those are like, those aren't for tint though. Like those are just little hobbyist vinyl thingies. I don't even think tint software works with those. But 2014 VW Passat. Yeah, no wonder you have problems with that. Versus the Ram will be easier than that Passat. 100%. It's just kind of funny. That's one of those cars where it's like, you just do the best you can and move on to the next car. Charge more for it. Just get it out of your life. Know that most cars are not like a Passat. That's how I handle a lot of difficult cars. Like most just most cars aren't like that. So whenever you get into a really difficult car that kind of gives you an ass kicking, it's like just do the best you can, move on to the next one, keep practicing, and know that most of them are not that. So every once in a while you get one, you'll have a frustrating time. I use the what was that? I used the PRECUT for tint for cutting tint into design over the top of the fully tinted window, kind of like a sticker. Oh, so you etch. You're etching designs into the window tint? I actually saw a shop do that years ago. It was Notorious. Notorious Tint over in like Livonia. I think they're in Livonia. I've heard of that. How wide's your PRECUT then? I see them sitting in like Michael's. They're like real little machines. So I'm assuming it's a wider one. You could probably set that up with any plotter then. That's cool. That's really creative. I'd love to see if you want to like take a little bit of time, make a video, post it in my group. I'd love to see that. That's great. It just kind of like broadens out what what people even think of with window tinting. People just think about tinting as like you just cut out patterns with it, not designs into it. And when you get tired of the designs, you can peel them off without damaging the fully tinted window. So you put like etch stickers on top of it? You poor guys tinting Eclipses and Passats for your first cars, some damn Malibus and I 100% agree. I don't get it. They're like, yeah, I'm starting out to tint. All I have is like a 90s Firebird to start on. And I'm like, oh Lord, why? Like, my buddy's got an O2 bug. Is that hard to practice on? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I need to have like a disclaimer. Ugh. I need to have a little disclaimer that, like, when I say practice on your own vehicle, if you have any of these vehicles, then go sell it and buy a Malibu. Many tint softwares have a way to cut out vinyl patterns too. Yeah, a lot of them are built on FlexiCut, or quite a few of them were that I saw. Like Tint Tack, Film and Vinyl. I didn't realize that was also Flexi. And there was a couple other ones that I used that had the exact same interface. That's actually really cool, super helpful, because I'm gonna do like a little graphics project video here. Just start with a Beetle back window. By the time you do that, you'll be a pro. Yep. No problem there. And then, like, I've talked to some people starting out that had vehicles kind of like that. It was like, there's a guy, he had a 90s Thunderbird. He had the old Camaro, and it was just like, those were the cars that they loved, so that's what they had. And I'm just like, you've managed to pick like every 90s pain in the ass vehicle that there is, and you're wanting to learn. And then he was like, well, I guess if I learn those, I'll be able to do a whole lot of other stuff. True. But there's still a difference between even those. There's still a difference between like doing a new car and like those 90s ones. Yeah, they're harder, but they're just a little bit of a different process even. But yeah, it's ridiculous. What's your Facebook page? Oh, post it in the group. Window tint stuff on Facebook. That's the group. That's where I'll see it. It's got like 31,000 members on it. It grew up. Super cool to see. That one went pretty well. I hope this makes up for the Taurus debacle that we had on Saturday. Where's my ruler? Look at this. I even got a ruler here. How do we want to do this? That's the main part. Everything else is going to fall into the seal really early. This guy, just cut this straight across. Bing! What's that? Talk about folding the tint when I'm tucking it in. Ooh, my reminder. How about that? Still a little early. Can we snooze a reminder? Hey Siri, remind me in 5 minutes to tuck in the tint.
Okay. Added.
Sweet. It's gonna be like the most helpful stream tool I've ever had. I totally forgot about that. But also if you want to remind me when I'm getting close to like tucking in the window tint, like for 2 staging on the sides. Somebody asked for a close-up. Watch, I'll still forget. I've got 4 chances to remember, and I'll forget every single one of them. Johnson Carbon? I've never touched it. I don't know. I like geocarbon films, though, so I'd recommend those. Johnson, Matico, and like there's a handful of other ones. They're like, I've heard positive things, but I just don't know much about them. Okay, so one thing to note is we did all these sideways, so we need to shrink them that way. Right? We did that on these 2. So probably gonna have to set them up different. Those back doors are pretty wide too. So we might have to shrink them on the front and the back. Front door's not too bad though. You really helped me start a business. Greetings from Guyana, South Africa, or South America. Wow. That's awesome. Glad to hear it. Is ceramic harder to tint than regular tint? It can be, yeah. Geo's carbon, or Geo's ceramic is pretty straightforward. It's just a little bit thicker. So it shrinks really well. But there were an awful lot of carbon and ceramic films that some of them shrink slower. And when you have a slight bend in the film, they don't touch up as easily. So like you could have a speck or a small crease where with one film, you could touch it up and hide it and you'd be good to go. But on some of those carbon and ceramic films, it's not the case. There isn't like a specific ceramic reason for it. Like there, other than just like the way it is, and you don't know until you try it on whatever one that you're using. So take all that stuff with a grain of salt. You might be using one, touches up super easily, shrinks super easily, no problems. But on a lot of them, they weren't that easy when they first were introduced. They're getting much easier, but there. See, we'll do this, shrink it sideways on the front and the back. Normally, I would have done it just all along the bottom. But on this one, since we flipped the roll sideways, everything's got to be shrunk on the sides. I just have 40-inch rolls. That's the only reason there. I have 40-inch rolls in carbon, and it doesn't really make sense to do them vertically. Not unless I throw them on the cutting machine. Do you know what roll width I need for rear window of a Mercedes-Benz E-Class coupe? 36 for sure. You know what? I did this the other day on Saturday. Somebody asked me about a Tesla Y, and I didn't know if the windshield was like the Model 3 or if it was more like the Model X, just offhand. So let me, before I forget, where's my mouse here? Oh, hey, there's me. Let's bring it up. 17. Oh, no. I started tinting at the age of 17. You're just doing it by learning your video. So far, it's going good. Just had one difficult car. It'll happen. Hang in there. I have my frustrating days, too. Where was that comment? Oh, rear window of a Mercedes-Benz E-Class Coupe. What year? Tint. Let's say 2018. Mercedes-Benz E-Class Coupe. So that would be this one. So if we go to Nest, this is what's so helpful about this now. So this is a Mercedes-Benz. I can't remember a single Mercedes windshield that was ever longer than a 36, but I think this is cool. So what, if we even go down to 30, this is the coupe. So you should even be fine with it. I'd assume like a 24. You'd be cutting it pretty close on a 24, but yeah, 36 would be great. That's fun. I like that. That's helpful. Then I don't have to like try and, shoot. Then I don't have to try and like Google back windows. I can just I just know. Model Y rear windshield runs all the way to the front. Does it? I don't think so. Here, we're gonna have this little debate here. Let me pop it up. So this is, let's say, a 21 Tesla Model Y. Backlash. The Model 3 does. The Model Y had a gigantic sunroof, but the backlash looked like it was separate. So this is what the software is at least saying. Model Y is this. And I was looking at pictures, and it looked right. It does. I have both cars. I don't believe you. You're the owner of one of those cars. I don't believe you. Why is my software saying, so they have, I don't know why it would be separate then. I haven't had one, but I'm betting it's split somehow. Are you a fan of double windshield strips? The Ram I did has 13. What? Oh, one of those goofy things where you do a 13-inch strip on the top and a 3-inch on the bottom. No. No, I don't. That is actually one of the few things that I'll just outright refuse to do. Tint the full windshield, or I'll do just the top. Model Y is a hatchback. Yeah. Yeah, I think something's funny there. It's got like a crazy big sunroof, but the very back glass is a pretty standard one, so there's a difference there. At least that's what it looks like, so hey, whatever. Yeah, like some people call those windshield strips like tank look or tank eye. I don't know, whatever. It's like a tank style thing. I think it's sorry, I think it's really dumb. It's like, it doesn't make sense. So you have like a 5% strip on the top, a 5% strip on the bottom, and then you have nothing in the middle. So it's just you have, like during the daytime, you have so much glare coming through that middle, and then it's just the top and the bottom are like way darker. So it's just a recipe for screwing up with your vision. Doesn't sound like a good idea. Yeah, you're right. Tinting the top glass is one big piece where it's 3 splits. Okay, yeah. We are right. I mean, of course. Duh. Do you know how many subscribers there are? Of course we're right. When do I get to play that card? When do I get to play that card where a customer calls and they ask me how much, and then I give them a price and they go, "That's too expensive." Can I whip out the? But do you know how many subscribers I have? Suicide strips. Oh yeah, that's a good name for them. It's like your windshield in letterbox format. Yep. It's like ultra wide. What? I just got some GeoShield V Nano. Can you talk about the clarity? I've never seen V Nano in person. I'm sorry. I'm horribly uninformed with V Nano. The reason I'd never even bought it was because it doesn't fit in with my product lineup. So I just color stable or lifetime warranty, all the things. V Nano is a 5-year, which is still a while, right? 5 years on a vehicle. A lot of people get rid of their vehicle in that time frame or whatever. But I just never wanted it to be a question there. It was lifetime color stable, lifetime carbon, and then I didn't want like a 5-year ceramic, and then like I just didn't know where to put it. So I understand it fits in some people's product lineups, but I've never actually got it and looked at it. But you can ask in the Facebook group. Other people were saying positive things about it, so that's helpful, right? Right. I think we'll be okay. Is this laminated? This is. So on a laminated window, which happens quite often on the front doors, not on all of them, like my Blazer doesn't have laminated. Sometimes dirt will like sit in that little canal or whatever you want to call it. The top crevice. Make sure that's extra cleaned out. Or else you have lots of little speckles. You'll wipe off your top edge, and then somewhere you'll have lots of little speckles that fall in. Easy money. What's up, man? You know, I forget. We're doing carbon, too. We've done a handful of pro classic jobs lately. It's nice to have a carbon. We had a ceramic tomorrow, too, so we're not all lost now. Oh, okay. So tucking into the sides. Look. So on this one, I have a fair enough room, or I have a fair enough amount of space here. So when I roll this up, I don't have as much space here. So when I roll this up, this side to tuck it in, I'll leave it loose. I don't just fold it. I like roll it up. See that? And then I'll try and tuck it in as much as I can. So it's rolled up, and it usually sneaks into the seal that way. Sorry, it's a little hard to get a close-up of that as I'm tucking it in, but we'll have some more chances. Look at that. We reminded ourselves enough that we actually remembered a thing. I knew I was going to forget, and I almost did. So on really tight seals, you'll generally have a little fold there that you have to like heat out. So they're hard to avoid entirely. But it's the type of thing, it's a really soft thing. So you put some heat on it, you let it dry out some, and then you press it down, and you'll be good. I've never had to redo a window because of that. So it's like, it's all behind the seal, it's out of your sight, out of mine. It's the way it is. What was that? How many do you have today? Not many. Proud to be a Facebook group mod. Glad to hear it. Do tinting prices vary? Yeah, I'm sure. Wow, why do I do that? Yeah, I'm sure they do. But if you're like out in California, like everything's more expensive there. So things change generally just based on like income levels too. So like prices out here will probably be cheaper than California, but also like cost of living in some areas are cheaper than California. So for example, this job is $320 for carbon. If it was my entry, it'd be $240. See, it's hard to get a shank in there. There we go. Some of these you have to go in at a little bit of an angle. Or you start in on the side. Work it over. Oh, that's awesome. When we last talked, I was just getting started, now I'm full-time at my house. That's cool. That's really cool. I didn't see a username yet. I'm looking through nothing, or through blur. It's slowly getting more clear. I need to make my desktop bigger. I don't remember, but that's awesome. Congrats, man. I mean, it's obviously been a little bit of time. Do you know what's nice? All that, if I didn't cover that, that gets wet. There's like a suede-like insert there. When you get into like the limiteds, or what is this, the Laramie? I don't know. I don't know RAM tiers, but I know panels when I see them. And I know that little insert, I'd get that thing soaked all the time. Until I started tinting here. Been like 4 or 5 months now. Dang, it's good. That's not that long at all. How much baby shampoo do you use? I need help getting my slip solution right. So, it's a really hard thing. What film are you using? It's a hard thing to say. I use probably about 1.5 ounces per gallon. So, I actually have a measuring cup now. I'll use, with Pro Classic and Pro Nano, I'll use about 3/4 baby shampoo, 1/4 Dawn. And overall, there's about like 3.5 ounces in a 3-gallon tank. But there's only probably about like 2.5 gallons in the tank, maybe like a little bit more than that. But I generally do more soap, but so the reason I ask what film is because Pro Classic, Pro Nano, they both stick more. The carbon slides a little bit easier, so you don't need quite as much, but you still can use the same amount. So I'm coming from like a Avery NR that stuck a lot. NR Pro, that one I had no problem sliding around, and I would use far less soap with that. So it really just depends on what you're doing. I don't know why I put that there. I want to put it there. Is there a market for pre-cut? Yeah, there is. It's not as strong, though. I mean, it's really aggressive. So getting people is the hardest one. I'm not gonna do pre-cuts. There's just I don't know. There is a market for it, but it's just I don't think it's as crazy as what it used to be. I think there's a lot more competition there. And then there's so much confusing marketing. So it's like you're either just you pop on Amazon or eBay, you buy whatever the cheapest, best looking kit is for like $30. So like margin on a better film is gonna be like, I don't know, you gotta be around like $80. That's not with a windshield, it's like on a standard 4-door sedan. Like 80 to 100. And then there's so many it's a bunch of annoying little things. So it's like your order form has to be like a mile long, or you could make it simpler, but sometimes you have to communicate a little bit more with the customer to figure out what kind of car they actually have, because they'll request patterns for like an '07 Grand Prix or something, and then you'll pull up your software, and then it'll give you like 2 options for patterns because there was a model change that year, and then it's just like you don't know what you're sending out. And then don't even get me started on trucks. There's so many variations on a lot of trucks. It's just it's kind of a hassle, so I'm not going to be doing it. Plus, inconsistencies with patterns and stuff like that. That's another thing. But if you want to do them, don't let me stop you. It's just trying to drive a store or jumping into an existing marketplace. It's a tough thing to get off the ground. It takes time. But Yeah, that machine over there, that's just for me. For back window on a Ram. $100 to $120 for good ceramic for a whole car. See, the film that I was talking about too, that was color stable. So, see what I mean? Like ceramic I'd price it even higher than that. It's just not worth my time to do. So, $100-ish for like a ceramic, then it's like, okay, what ceramic are you using? It's just, nah, I'm good. I'm good. But piggybacking off of that, sometimes, like, I think the real... So, if you're going after just regular consumers, it's tough. Like, they're all price shopping. They don't know enough. You show a film, it's too expensive. They'll just order whatever else on Amazon or eBay, and it'll be good enough. Where there's like this interesting gap, I think, is I think it's a really dumb way to run a business, but some people do it. They'll order pre-cuts, and then that's the way they'll install them. So they'll book a job, they'll order the pre-cut for it, and then the car will show up the next week. And then so you have potential for a lot of reorders there. But I knew some people that would do that locally. Like they would go to a shop, and then the shop would sell them pre-cut tint for the cars that they were going to do. And then so they would like pre-sell all the jobs, and then they'd go to the shop, they'd get a bunch of patterns, and then they'd go and tint the cars because they didn't want to buy their own, or they couldn't afford their own plotter. And they didn't mind spending the extra for pre-cuts. But kind of, it's a more rare thing to find some local people doing stuff like that. But there are options out there. I tried to tint a Dodge Durango yesterday. Driver window failed twice. Hopefully I can get it done by today using Avery film. Oh, good luck. Durango, it's an easy one to pop the seal out if you need to, but you guys know I don't do that all the time. Durango is one of those things that I actually would, though. Somebody asked about that in the group. There's like a 21 Durango, which I haven't touched yet. I'm pretty sure it was like the 2020 Durango. So I don't want to shrink this. This is just a symptom from how wide these are, and I shrunk the sides. So I tried to pull as much of this out, but this is far wider than these are tall. So there's just one spot near the middle. You know what? I'm gonna go grab something. No, don't do. Oh, I hate that. It probably works somewhat, but print out business cards and put them on bad tint jobs. I hate that kind of marketing. That drives me crazy. If anybody put shit in my car, I would make it a point to not go to them. Just don't touch my car. Look. Extra shades. We turned it into a picket fence. Just get more. This is why you should buy a 5-pack, even though there's only 4 there. So the thing is if you have a finger that pops up on the bottom, this seal is wet. And anytime you put some heat, swipe it down, a little finger, like that water runs back along that channel. and then it'll pop up that finger again. So if you can keep a gap there, so like pulling a seal, this is one reason they don't really have to shrink doors near as much. It'll help with something like that. So it keeps it keeps all the water from hitting that bottom edge of the film and popping those things up. So just holds it back, lets it dry. It's a good thing to do. Now I can go do something else and then just kind of let that sit there and dry out. I mean, bad tint, like bubbly tint? Yeah, I get it. Like you see a bad tint job. Wow, we're going to lock ourselves out. Oh, we closed it all the way. Why did we do that? I guess we'll go to the other side. I don't feel like climbing through it. You see like a bad bubbly tint job, you throw a business card on them, like, hey, let me know. It's just like, I don't like that type of marketing. It's like, yeah, they know you exist now, and maybe you'll find somebody that's like, is gonna book with you that way. But I think like intrusive marketing like that is really off-putting to a lot of people. So I think you'll throw off as many people as you might get. But I don't know. I've never done it. It's just around here, that's the vibe I would get. It's like when you're in a grocery store and then all of a sudden like a restaurant comes and like slaps stuff on your windshield, like under your wiper. It's just like I hate it. It drives me crazy. So without a heater, you can't fix it. I don't understand the question. Can't fix what? Are you liking the plotter? It's okay. It's got some problems. It'll work, but so if you can pay attention to it, you'll be a little better off. It screwed up 3 back windows yesterday. A good part of it was my fault, but also something that can easily happen to you if you're not paying attention. Put a discount on the business card. I just don't like it. That would make it a little bit better, like, hey, special one. If you wrote like a little, yo, dude, I want to fix this for you. Sorry. That comes off a little bit better, but anytime somebody puts something on my car, it's getting crumpled up and thrown in the trash. Yeah, I think it's a polarizing thing. I think you either like you're okay with it based on the presentation, or you hate it. And I just would lean on the side of caution. Like that's how I would do things. So, but I'm not everybody's business, so. Why does it ding? And then I take a second to get to it, and then I look at it, and then it's gone. I have to like swipe through them then. $10 off a $300 job, yay. What do you think about Express? I have no comment about Express. I've never used them. No comment. I do 20% off of my business cards. I feel bad leaving them, but I got to get business. I mean, if it's working for you, that's the thing. I'd heard of, like, had this discussion in my group a few times. Some people do it, and they say it works great, and they've never had any problem. Well, it's really just the people that don't like it are going to ignore your business, and the people that are appreciative will actually, they actually might call your business. So somebody's going to act on it. It's a numbers game. Somebody will act on it. it's just kind of like, you know, if you have a bubbled back window with a bad roll of film. It's like, not every single one of those people are going to come back because they just don't want to deal with the hassle. When you have a bad tint job, not everybody's going to feel comfortable with coming back and saying, hey, there's some speckles here, or, you know, I don't like this. But they'll just like, you know what I mean? There'll only be so many people that come back. So it's just, it is a bit of a polarizing thing. There's good and bad from it. But it's up to you. What about putting advertising on your own car? Yeah, I mean, there's advertising on so many commercial vehicles. I think it's a smart move. I mean, it's just free, it's free real estate. Let's see. Yeah. Like business, any type of just general advertising to throw impressions in front of people's faces. Like so especially if you're mobile and you drive up to somebody's house and you have like a minivan with some lettering on the side. It doesn't look as nice as like driving up in a little bit of a nicer vehicle with a full vehicle wrap or something like that. It's just professionalism. That's a big part of it. So yeah, 100%. It's a good thing to do. If you're just driving around, how many people are gonna call from your vehicle? I have no idea. I mean, advertising is thrown all over the place, everywhere. It's always down people's throats. I mean, any of you guys that are not YouTube Premium right now are dealing with just a whirlwind of YouTube ads. I've been a YouTube Premium member for quite a while. Every once in a while, I have to like log back in or something. Oh my! I gotta get another shank here. It's over in the other door. And then I go like, whoa! They put those ads on the YouTube app now? Dang! It is brutal. But I don't see any of those. I absolutely love YouTube Premium. All my rap business comes from Facebook from Marketplace? Marketplace, man, there's been so many posts lately. Marketplace is brutal. It's flea market shopping. It's tough. But it's good that it's working for you. I would have ads on my car. Never got anyone. I would have ads on my car for car wraps. Never got anybody to mess with me because of it. Yep. Could be the design. Like, could be a couple things. Could be just the creative, or people see it all over the place. I mean, one thing is, how many times have you driven past a business that you inevitably went to, but you found them through like searching on maps or something? You're like looking for a restaurant, and you go like, oh, they're over there. I drive past there all the time. I never noticed them. It's just because you're just advertising's everywhere, on the road, on the side, signs, billboards. It's thrown at you all the place. The creative is the tough part. If you could be successful off of a billboard if you can get creative, right? It's just about finding something that stands out and hits home with the people that are going past it. Is there anything spec-free tint job? There's always going to be something. There's always going to be something that you point to and you go, I don't like that. But that should be incredibly minimal. It's an aftermarket process. You try and do as best as you can. There's environmental conditions, there's vehicle conditions, there's 100 other little things, but you should be within an earshot of, you can get within an earshot of perfection. But sometimes that even takes doing what you're doing and then like repeating it 2 or 3 times to get there, for whatever unknown reason. Are you using the plotter full time? No. No, we hand cut all the doors on this. That's something we're still going to be doing a lot of the time. We're going to be hand cutting a ton of stuff still. That's not leaving. The machine's more of it's really just a cut assistant. So what I'm going to do is try it on this back window. This top is the only thing that I'm really wondering about. It's hard, like, can't even really hand cut that very much. But we'll see what this does for the back window. I gotta get some more. I'm just starting my own tinting business. I love tinting. Look at it like a dream job, but it's so hard getting people in. Especially around the later part of the year, it gets more tricky. There'll be like a surplus of people come February. Like late February, March, tax season, springtime, summertime. There's usually a surge. If you're just starting out, it gets better every year. What you pulled in this year versus next year, like, so you got to look at it at least like 3 years out from where you are right now. It'll get more consistent as you go. Some people just have a knack for being able to pull people in. They're in the right area. They're good at networking, or they just have a lot of friends of friends of friends, and then they're off to the races very early on. That was never the case for me. But while it's slow, look at all the other things that you can do, because when it gets busy, you won't be able to do those things anymore. So having Google My Business, Facebook, and a bunch of other things, and really impressing the people that come into you, those word-of-mouth referrals are probably the best business that you're going to get. So I don't have any like perfect advice for what you can do to just get business tomorrow, but just post nice videos of work that you do. Add lots of pictures, add lots of captions, but everybody does pictures and captions and stuff. That only does so well. Boosting stuff, you'll weed through a lot of people that are just there to waste your time, but you can get business off of that. That's what we ended up doing for a little bit. Do you have anyone in Sacramento, California you can recommend? I don't know. If there's somebody in Sacramento, California here in the chat that might be able to help you out. I don't have anybody personally, unfortunately. Just channeling the community rocks. Aw, well, we appreciate ya. It's tough. It really is, because there'll be times where you'll have a surplus of business, and then there'll be times where you just won't have anything to do. More so in the beginning than any other time, but it's kind of a feast or famine business. But those, and it'll start to climb. If you put out good work, you take care of your people, you'll have repeat business, you'll have lots of referrals, because somebody that goes in and actually gets like a good job, it's a big deal, because they've never been to your business and they kind of weren't sure where to go anyways. So they started calling around, they found somewhere, you got them in, you took care of them, they were super happy, sweet. Just give them time. They'll talk about that they got their vehicle tinted to friends or family, and then before you know it, somebody else is like, you know what? I've been thinking about doing that too. And then who else are they going to call? They're not going to go anywhere else. So that type of stuff, it all does take time. There'll be plenty of time where you're sitting on your thumbs and you're like, God, I don't feel like a tint business at all. And all of a sudden it'll be like crazy busy. It'll be like, sweet, I'm awesome. Or this is really working. Then all of a sudden it'll slow down again, and you're like, what the hell happened? What did I do wrong? Well, nothing. It's just it's seasonal / like, I don't know, people come in herds. Don't be afraid to run deals for new business. That I don't have any super great feedback on. I personally don't. But running specials in like the wintertime, kind of like, I don't think it's a bad thing for like, if you do it right. So like you don't want to just, you give somebody a discount on a tint job in like your slow season, and then they refer a bunch of people and expect a discount when they come back, and you're busy. I started a little bit lower in the beginning anyways, and some of those people, they've been coming back, and they remember sometimes what they paid before. They're not always a stickler on it, but when I wasn't introducing carbon or ceramic into a lot of people in the beginning, that kind of shot me in the foot a little bit later, because those people are not generally getting carbon or ceramic at a later date. So it's a tough thing. When I was tinting, I was doing 3 to 4 cars a day, like 900 to 1,000 days consistently with a $17 Google ad budget. That sounds like a really good thing. Nice job. Everybody wants to know what your Google ad, what your ads look like. I'm assuming you had them click through to your website. I think some areas have it easier than others, though, for sure, on at least getting general business. Just like any other business that runs sales, people understand that price was only good for that time. Sorry. I've seen the other side of that. I have seen people come back 3-4 years later to companies that I've done work for, and they were like, they pull out the original receipt, and they're like, man, I spent $169. I got my car tinted 4 years ago. They did not understand that at all. But I think you can definitely present it in a way where it comes across stronger that way. So like hotels, Disney World, that varies in price. So like in the wintertime, if you're trying to stir up some business, I don't fault anybody for giving like seasonal discounts or something like that. Just do it in a way that's gonna turn you into the cheap place. That's all. I mean, do you go to Walmart Black Friday expecting same time? Oh. They might ask about the original price, but you just have to remind them. Yeah, I think that's where the mistakes happen. You're talking about cartoons. Yep. Super! Oh, look, the same thing's gonna happen on this one. Daniel Reyna.
Reyna super chatted $9.99.
We have something to shrink out here.
Umagameo buntag mangatao. Kumu star grandmaster kuya.
That was a great way. The voice handled that perfectly. Daniel Reyna with the 10. I'm doing well, thank you. just me personally, I always remember how those first customers helped me out in the beginning, so I always treat them a little differently. I've taken a similar approach to it. I was just like, you know, where you start out and what you do in the very beginning based on how busy it is, all of a sudden you like, it gets really busy, and then you see like, man, I don't want to like start giving away my business, or I don't want to make this like a long-term thing where it's like, when this guy comes back, it's always like almost a free feeling, like a free job or whatever. And it's like you appreciate what they did for you, or for like taking a chance on you in the beginning. But there's that back and forth. Make your customers earn the discount. $10 discount for cash or January special. Don't just lower your prices. I like that. I think that's pretty smart. I set a no haggle precedent. I like it. That one came out super easy. This one is not. Sometimes these pins, they get stuck. Oh, wait. There we go. Do you care if we answer other people's questions? Not really, but I hear responses to other people, so it like gets confusing for me, so just be careful. Damn. Why? Why you gotta be like this? I hate, if there's one thing I hate about these trucks, more so than the BCM, it's these stupid little pin things. That's why Black Friday customers don't expect that price. Black Friday customers, I argue, are not my customers. I mean, everybody likes a deal. Oh, there we go. Thankfully. Wow, we actually got it. Everybody likes a deal, but like, there's levels to that. It's definitely levels to it. Referral discount. It's an interesting conversation to have, especially right now. I mean, do what you got to do. This is just one guy's opinion on it. I definitely don't have all the answers for you. Just, I've generally like discounting some of your nicer products too a little bit, or you know what I mean? Like, you have your entry. Especially when people are asking about my entry, like if they want a discount on that, it's like it costs a certain amount of money to even get your car in here and tinted. There's just not as much wiggle room on the entry. There we go. If you're gonna kill somebody for a tickle me Elmo, Matt doesn't want you as a customer. Unless it was for a good cause. Okay, what do I have to do? This, and this. What the heck? So do we keep it still here? I haven't cut a 40-inch roll on this. So you telling me this thing, so I've got two spots for the rollers. I get the first spot, which doesn't line up with anything. And I got the second spot, which is here, and then that kind of overlaps this one, So like you have, it's way over the edge here, it's way over the edge here, and then if I put it on this roller, it's just not anywhere either. I don't like this. Wow. Let's see. What are we doing? So I want to move it. I want to move it here. Then I'm going to do enter. Oh, wait, no. I have to move this little plotter thing back over. I mean, that's at least more assuring that it's not going to walk on me. But not a fan. Genuinely not a fan. Canon. So, desktop. I'm not, I'm not on the business account. I can wholeheartedly support you throwing hands with that customer. Oh, that's great. I think I got bit by a mosquito. Okay, so what do we got here? We have a 20 Dodge Ram. Oh, they actually do the Ram under Ram. 1,500. 21 to 19. This is a crew, right? What's the difference between crew and quad? So this is a 40. So we have that. We have this. And then we have the center. Oh yeah, we got space. So this is where, as long as these cuts go well, because we haven't cut carbon yet, should make everything a little bit easier on this one. So let's click this button. Desktop. Like Ford has like super crew and stuff like that. Quad has smaller back doors. I didn't remember. I get confused. I always like to make the middle window a little bit smaller. This software you can't do that on, unfortunately. What shade is that? We're good, right? Yeah, okay. So then we do this, kick this forward. Then we can cut it off here. No, don't fall. All right, we'll see how this worked out. We're gonna weed these out like this rather than just peel the whole thing because I'm still not 100% sure if I had to tweak a setting or something. That went good. That went real good. Sweet. So we have a centerpiece. We're gonna leave it oriented that way too. It should be able to flip upside down though. Quad is the smaller door, crew is the bigger one. Okay. I'm gonna forget that next time. I like mostly remember, but it's been a minute. Ooh, nice. So we didn't change anything between the carbon. You have to shrink them too. Yeah, they can use it a little bit. We've done a couple. We've done a couple of these on stream. Never with the plotter though. Oh, are we okay still? Couple of snags? No? Yes? No? It's going back and forth. They're like small snags. It could probably be slightly up the pressure. But overall, I'd say that's pretty good. Sweet. We got some patterns. See how these line up. See how this amazing software, see how it's supposed to work. Now on this one, didn't have to cut it like that. But it did. It did this little, like, the angled cutout there. Didn't have to do that. I didn't really check if there was any extra options, but didn't notice them. So overall, the machine is cutting pretty damn good. It's been mostly dialed in. This is the first time we've cut carbon on it though, so I left the settings the same. But there's just a few little kinks that you have to get used to with a machine like that, and you guys saw Saturday was not super fun. I changed the catch basket a little bit, but I don't know if that's enough to fix the issue that I have. So when I cut out a full back window, it could flip up and stick to itself. I don't know. I've also noticed this plotter is like a little bit shorter. So it's not exactly like, could use a little bit more room to drop before it hits the basket. Now, which is which? So this is this will be this one. You need a moderate. No, it's good. If you guys want to just respond to people, that's okay. Chat's usually pretty good. Like when people ask about carpet shield and stuff, it's usually pretty straightforward. That overlap gave me some troubles. Oh, I didn't shrink it either. Whoops. Let's see how this lines up. Everybody wants to know. So the hardest thing about these rams is this top edge here. I don't think there really is a great way to cut these. I think it's mostly like pulling this back a little bit and cramming the film up here and just trying to like shrink it out as best as you can. Call me crazy, but that cutout, that lined up basically perfectly. But this whole metal edge at the top, like you can kind of sneak the film in there, but it's, I don't know. I've had problems with just hand cutting them. So we're just gonna see if we can sneak it in there. Oh, look at that. We got that to work. Nice. There we go. Yay, that was one. So this will save me a bunch of time. Just full disclaimer on that one. Back window, trucks, especially with the slider, it'll just save you a bunch of time. And then we don't really have any top edges to be nitpicky about. Well, I actually do on this one, but You get what I mean? Like you don't have like a regular roll down top edge on here to be super nitpicky about. So, it at least looks like we're making up for all the issues that we had the other day. That's nice. And then as long as that centerpiece lines up, and we'll be pretty much all set here. I don't know how many live streams I've done where I've actually hand cut these out. So if you want to see that, by all means, it's on the channel. It's been done a bunch of times. Morning from Jaber. How you doing, bud? All right. Now, we need a peel board on this side, I think. But I suppose we could do something like this. It's a little harder to air peel something like this. If these like longer edges, if these like what is it? The liner, the extra liner. Oh, we didn't shrink this one either. If the liner is wrapping around the sides, it kind of bunches up. It can be a little tougher to air peel it, where without the cuts like that, it's just hand cut. It's a little bit easier, but you can still do it. It just was hanging up on the other side. This is cool. One thing to not take for granted is nice clean cuts on the inside of a truck, because I used to do these like really pretty rough and not care so much, and it was one of the critiques that I had later on from like, it wasn't like enough for them to come back, but they would like, when they were getting the vehicles firsthand, if this edge was like all wavy and stuff from getting cut on the inside, if it wasn't super clean, there'd be some comments on it occasionally. It was just like, oh, they just don't look quite as nice. Is there time to do another vehicle today? Not today. Tomorrow, though. Probably. I think I pushed this over to the right just a little bit. There. Now it's flush with it. Wow. That's helpful. Didn't we say that early on? It's like truck windows. They can help a lot with that. It's good for that. Very happy to have it for that. Where are my windows? No, this one. And then this one. This one. Where did... Oh, we moved it off the side, that's why. Get bigger, thank you. What's a Shaw 52? I didn't even recognize what even is that. I want one of the pod stations on wheels, or make one. Either way, I want one. They're actually pretty cool. They're really clean. Really simple, really clean. I like if you're gonna have like a roller peel board, the less space that it takes up is pretty cool. And then they add the sprayer on top of it. It seems like it would fit in pretty nice. I don't want to move it around all the time, but the setup is pretty cool. One thing I learned is you're typically your worst customer. You can critique things beyond what a normal person would do. Yes, a lot of time. And then you'll have that person where you were extra critical with anyways, and then he'll be above you. And you're like, wait, what? But yeah, most people, I mean, just look at all the things that dealerships get away with. Like, brand new car, people like, oh, they hop in it, cool. And then they drive off the lot. And then they'll take it to like a detailer who does like full paint corrections and stuff like that. And then it's like, well, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Did we? Gotta go this way? Or did I just do an extra dum-dum? Oh, I did. Okay. I thought so. So we at least know which is the top and which is, or we know, actually not which is the top. It should be the same. Shouldn't matter. Ooh. I like that. Oh wait, no I don't. Hang on. Oh, it let us down. What the heck? You gotta be kidding me. Oh, it's so close. The sides are perfect. The top, it's almost there. When you open this is the seal right here. This needs to be a little bit taller. Did somebody say make the center one a little bit bigger? All right, we're gonna hand cut this one. Oh, it was almost there. But we have a pattern here, so we can at least fix it. But we can't do it with the software yet. How are you enjoying it? We were almost 3 for 3. But this is what I mean. Maybe it's upside down. No, it's not it. What do I do? I have a 40-inch sideways. How do I? I'm stuck. This is where it all falls apart. Okay, so what happened is the cut was almost there. The top and the bottom, like it was evenly the same, or it was evenly just a hair short. They could have easily made this a 1/4 inch taller, which is what I'm gonna do. And it would have been spot on. Sides were great. But we can oversize them just a little bit more if we want. Wasted dollar, wasted time, wasted dollar. At least it was a smaller issue, right? Did I put that on wrong? I don't know. Ah, it'll be fine. We'll be good. Now we can air peel this one a little bit better. There's not a way to oversize your cuts? Not on film cut yet. It's very basic. Patterns are supposed to be better. But it's very basic. They're adding the features really soon. So it's one of those things where if it was always like this, no. If they're adding them soon, okay. They're supposed to have better patterns, though. I wouldn't call that better. But if you want to try it, I've been really impressed with like some of the doors that they've had. Look at that. Perfect. Plotter software. Much better. So it at least helped us get to that point. But that is by no means a good thing to have. If most people didn't recognize that, they'd just stick them and then wouldn't realize it. So like this, as long as this glass stays closed, you'd never see a gap. As soon as you open it, you'll see one at the top. That goes with a lot of sliders. So, but what, we have like a small amount of touch-up, and then that's pretty much it. Let's do that. Where's my heat gun? So did this all stay down? Sweet. That worked. Remember we had a little finger there? That's gone. Our little picket fence of shanks did the trick nicely. That's looking real good. And we're tangled. Have any of you... No! Let's not do that. That would be real bad. Thank you, Pro Classic 20, for catching the carbon. How much do you charge for a windshield strip? 50. I'm gonna warm up this. Got a slight little part of the fold right there. I'm just gonna gradually warm this up. Don't just stick the heat right here, because you'll start to melt all that side goodness. So this is a laminated front window, so it takes more time for that heat to pass through. You could put something here as a barrier if you want. Get a little closer, but put your hand on the inside, like the backs of your fingers. You can just wedge them up against the glass. As soon as it hurts to keep your hand there, that's when it's plenty hot enough. Don't get it above that though. But it takes time. It takes time to warm up that outside and that heat to pass through to the inside. And then press it once, press it twice, heat it up a little bit more. Ooh, it's toasty. Perfect. And let's see, do we have a finger pop back up here? No? It's all gone? Oh wait, right here. Nice, nice, very nice. Sweet. And this back window, we should get some glass cleaner. Put those headrests back in, and then we'll be good. Looks good, thank you. How much did you charge for? Oh yeah, we answered that. I just developed a new love for hand cutting watching your streams. Thank you. Glad to hear it. It's those differences right there. It's like you line up. Some of the windows, they work really well. Some of them are just a little short, and there's always this like, you know, there's this trade-off. Some of them work out better, some of them don't. And as long as it's not ruining your day, but those little things, like, that should be better. I want that to be better. But I struggle with with being pattern support for software. Because if I ever leave, it's like, well, like, they change, you leave, all that effort is just like, for what? It gets annoying. So they definitely need user feedback, but there's only so many chances we'll give. But how many... What am I trying to say here? We're not going to be using this a whole ton anyways, so I don't know. It depends on how crucial it is to your own business. That looks pretty good. Have you ever used ExoShield? No. I've heard mixed things about it though, but I've never tried it. What really sounded intriguing, I've never used it either, was Stack. Stack has a windshield paint protection film. So I think ExoShield is like a hard material where the new paint protection film for windshields would be softer. So I love the idea of paint protection film on a windshield if it can take the wipers. That's really it. Dirty wipers going across it is not going to be super great for any materials. So like a rigid material like ExoShield, I think I heard somebody had it on for like literally like a day, and then they got a chip in their windshield, and then they were just kind of like stuck. Heard a lot of warranty work. I thought I heard some stuff similar to that. It's a great idea, but man, it's expensive to get that done. So you can't afford any of those issues either. Just like material problems. If it actually chips through to the windshield, it's just like, what I didn't like about it was like I said, it sounds like it's a rigid material. There's not much shock absorption there. So if you use something like a paint protection film, which could scratch easier, but if it's made right, would be a little spongier. But yeah, I've never used it. Alrighty, dudes. Let me grab the keys out of this. I think we're good. Dang! How about that? Well, that didn't go too bad. So we did 20% all the way around. So we had factory tint on the back. So it effectively makes the back limo. Front door's 20. And nothing on the windshield. But we'd do it if he wanted the windshield. But he didn't. So we didn't. Ooh, glad I saw this. Wow, that is a big one. Just a little air pocket right here, right on the edge. Sweet. Gone. Okay, cool. Whew. Glad that wasn't anything worse than that. Canon. Let's get Matt to 100K subscribers. Oh, that'd be nice. I think most people here are probably subscribed, though, if I had to guess. Ooh, let me get my coffee. Oh, do you think you'll hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year? If I put out a good video, yeah. It's one good video away. Like, and I mean, like, if it pops off. So I have a few ideas that might get me there. Just trying. No, I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, we're getting there. We're like 5,000 away. Which is crazy. I didn't think I'd be there until, shoot, like the rate it was going, like a couple years from now. But if you put out the right types of videos and they catch wind, it'll be like another 5,000 really, really quick. I got about 100,000 subscribers on TikTok under a different name. Not about window tinting, though. That's cool. Very nice. Alrighty. Well, we're going to shout out. Was it one? Did we get. Oh, my God. The sole super chat for today. Daniel Reyna. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Usually there's at least a few. But that makes it very simple. So thank you to Daniel Reno today for the 10. Much appreciated as always. All right. I guess that about wraps it up today. Tomorrow we're gonna have a ceramic job in the afternoon that we're gonna live stream. I'm like 99% sure that that's gonna be a thing tomorrow. I know it's coming in. Just make sure I have the time to do it tomorrow. So look forward to that. In the meantime, go tint some stuff, go make some monies, and have a good day. I'm trying to remember if there was anything else. Nope, I think that'll do it. I saw that username too. Alrighty, so I'll see you tomorrow afternoon. You guys have a good one. Thank you for hanging out. Much appreciated. Join the Facebook group. And bye.